Hi, my name is Charlotte, and this is a practice for those times when you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed or scattered. So, this is a state that I know very well. One of my friend's old therapists calls it the nest covered in shit, right? It's like, oh, I know this very well. I tend to go back to it, but it's not the most nourishing, helpful place. So, I am going to offer some practices that help me when my mind is a little bit scattered or I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So, we'll do this first and foremost by simply bringing awareness to our felt sense. How do we feel in our bodies, in our minds, with our breath? That in and of itself is really helpful. And we'll also physically bring our awareness to our center, to our midline. So that will be hopefully really helpful just in terms of gathering our energy back in. And then we'll also focus on some contralateral movements, some right left integration through movement, posture, breath, and mudra or hand position. And really, you're your best teacher. So there's nothing prescriptive in yoga. What may work for one person may not work for someone else. So, if anything, let this be time for you to explore, take what works for you, leave what doesn't work for you, and just get to know your own self a little bit more. So, we'll begin on our backs. And you can get comfortable here. It's a gentle practice, so you can even wear socks. Finding a comfortable position on your back. And if it feels a little too vulnerable to be on your back with your chest open up to the sky, you can always come onto your belly into crocodile pose, resting your forehead on your stacked palms. So settle in here. Maybe just take a sigh and invite your body to be held by the floor, by the earth, the ground beneath. And we'll begin by simply noticing our physical body. Just noticing if there are any places that feel a little tight or tense. Any areas that feel pain, warmth, tingly that call your attention. And also any areas that already feel open, soft, expansive. And see if you can observe without any judgments, with the quality of allowance and acceptance. Feeling what's here, creating more space for it. And then we'll move to the breath, breathing in and out through the nose if that feels comfortable. Just notice how the breath is, if it's fast or slow, smooth or choppy. Slowing it down as you're ready, smoothing it out as you're ready, allowing the belly to rise and fall with the breath. And Then we'll bring the awareness to the mind and just notice what thoughts are present and see if you can find an attitude of allowance and acceptance, just simply observing, like, oh, my mind is moving fast. I'm having judgment. I'm wishing something would be otherwise. Whatever's coming up for you, see if you can just simply observe it. So you're getting to know yourself. In yoga, we call this Svadhyaya, self-study. Inviting your full self here just as you are. And then we'll begin to really find a connection with our core, with our physical center. So you can bend your knees, feet flat on the floor. Interlace your hands behind your head, elbows wide out to the side. As you inhale, press your elbows down towards the floor. Gently arch your back away from the mat. And as you exhale, draw your belly button to the spine, spine to the floor. Elbows draw in, round curl scoops. See if you can feel a nice engagement in the core. Less work in the shoulders, jaw, and neck, more in the belly. And then inhale, elbows widen, arch your back away from the floor. Exhale, navel to spine, round curl scoop. So just moving at your own rate. Support your head in the hands. It's warming up your core. So yes, we're strengthening our bellies. But we're also just connecting in with our center. So you can stay with these or we'll take the twist. So next time we're going to lift the left elbow to right knee to left elbow, round curl scoop. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, right elbow to left knee to right elbow. And down, just alternating here. Moving with the breath. You can even use these shapes to help amplify the breath. Another thing that's really helpful is getting into the rhythm. Just getting into the groove, listening to the breath, waking up our centers. And you can even really close your eyes down, bringing the awareness in even more. Couple more, taking breaks if and when you need. And then next time you're even, relax your arms by your sides. You can stretch your legs out or you can keep your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Let's actually place our hands right on our belly and see if you can feel some warmth in your navel center. As if you could draw your scattered energy back into this center like a sun center. Feeling the warmth, feeling the energy focused right inside of you. So all of the energy that you leaked out or gave out to people, to work, to overthinking, drawing it back in, just using your imagination as if you could call it back in. And then we'll draw our knees into the chest, wrap your arms around your shins, rock side to side a couple of times, release the low back. And either rock up and down the spine a couple of times or make your way on up to all fours in any way that feels good to you. So we'll come around to all fours. And if your knees are sensitive, you can always place your knees on a blanket. Spread your fingers wide, hands right underneath the shoulders, knees under hips. We'll take a couple of spinal movements, again, rhythmic movements, just to help to get the mind in sync with the breath in sync with the body. So that's yoga, this sense of union on the micro level, on the macro level. So as you inhale, lift your sitting bones up, chest, neck, head up. As you exhale, round curl and press the floor away, doming your back up to the sky. And moving at your own rhythm. You can breathe in and out through the nose unless you're like me and the nose is a little stuffed. And then we'll take some C shapes. So come back to neutral spine. We'll draw the hips to the right and draw your right shoulder to the right, right head to the right, as if you were trying to touch your right shoulder to the right hip. And then we'll draw the left shoulder to the left hip. So just going side to side. These are lateral movements. Just waking the spine up. Come back to a neutral shape. And then we'll take some rotations of the spine. So inhale, sweep your right arm out and up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, thread the needle. One breath. You can bend your left elbow a little. We'll do this 2 more times. So inhale, right arm out and up. Exhale, thread and squeeze the breath out. Full exhale. Last time, inhale, out and up. Exhale, thread and squeeze, and this time you can rest on your right shoulder, right cheek. If it doesn't quite come to the floor comfortably, you can hover. If it does, you're welcome to stretch your left arm forward in front of you, opening up the front of the left chest. And let's just take 3 deep breaths here. Gentle twist. Come on up and we'll switch sides. So left arm sweeps out and up. Exhale, thread and squeeze. 2 more times. Gentle rotation of the spine, just moving within your own comfortable range of motion. Last time, resting here. Maybe stretch your right arm forward. And then we'll come back to hands and knees and take some contralateral movements, which is so good for balancing the right and left hemisphere of the brain. So we're going to curl the right toes under and stretch your right leg long on the mat. So your toes are curled under. Drop your right hip so your hips are level. And then we'll reach the right leg up towards the ceiling, any amount. Let's bring the left hand to the ribs and lift those front ribs up to the back ribs so you're not hammocking your spine down to the floor. And then if you want, stretch your left arm forward in front of you. We'll take 3 nice deep breaths here. Reach through inner right heel, through left pinky finger, shoulders down the back. Back of the neck is long. One nice long diagonal line, left fingertips to right heel. And then we'll switch. So slide your left toes back. Drop your outer left hip down so your hips are level. We'll lift the left leg without dumping your ribs down. Right hand comes to those ribs. See if you can press your front ribs to the back ribs. And then stretch your right arm forward. 3 breaths here, getting very long from inner left heel to right pinky finger. And then we'll release the hands and knee down. Take a moment or two, shake the wrists out if that feels good. And then we'll come right back into that position for one more variation. So starting the same way, slide your right leg out and up. Lift your ribs, front ribs to back ribs. Stretch your left arm forward. Take a big inhale here, grow long on the diagonal. Exhale, left elbow to right knee to left elbow, round curl scoop. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, round curl scoop. Last time, inhale, stretch long. Exhale, round curl scoop. Stretch long. And release the hand and knee down. Waking up the core. Second side, stretch your left leg back. Drop your outer left hip down as you lift the leg. Reach the right arm forward. Inhale, grow long. Exhale, elbow to knee, round curl scoop. Squeeze the breath out. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round curl squeeze. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round curl squeeze. And then we'll stretch long. Place the hand and knee down. And again, one more time, shake the hands out. And just rest for a moment. Notice what's unfolding in your experience. You could check in, how's the body, the breath, quality of the mind. And then we'll come into a brief downward facing dog. If down dog doesn't work for you, you can come into a child's pose. Otherwise, curl your toes under. Before we go into the dog, draw your shoulders down the back. Press your index finger knuckle into the floor. And we're just going to hover the knees an inch or two above the mat. Shoulders down the back. I really like this one to feel my own strength. To feel the length of the spine. Maybe even feel a little shaking. Feel a nice concentration in your core. And then we'll press back, downward facing dog. If you want, you can pedal the feet out. If you have very tight hamstrings, you can step your feet as wide as the mat and even keep the knees bent. So this downward facing dog is really about lengthening through the spine. Pressing the hands down and away. Get very long through the spine. Notice how is the jaw. See if you can relax the neck, ears in between the arms. And then you can step your feet hip distance apart. We're going to walk our hands back to our feet for a forward fold. So bend your knees as much as feels good, but definitely do bend your knees. And we're going to grab opposite elbow with opposite hand for a ragdoll forward fold. If you want, you can nod the head yes. Shake the head no. Again, maybe take a sigh. We'll hang here for a couple more breaths. Again, if it's hard on your hamstrings, bring your forearms to the thighs so you're not overly stretching your hamstrings. We don't, in yoga, say no pain, no gain. We say no pain, no pain. So we don't want to feel any pain. All right. Last couple of breaths here. If your mind is still feeling a little scattered, you can just imagine as though the top of your head opens up And any thoughts you don't need here right now are just falling out the top of the head, in towards the earth. Just inviting them to let go. Anything you don't need here right now, anything you're ready to release or let go of. And we'll slowly walk our way back, downward facing dog, knees to the floor, and then come into a child's pose. So you decide if you want your hands forward in front of you or back behind you. We'll take 5 breaths here. See if you can draw the skin of your forehead down towards your eyes. So this drawing down of the forehead skin to the eyes actually can help calm the mind. Soften your hip flexors. Just be with the breath. Slowly take your time to come on up and make your way into a comfortable seat. If you need to, you can stretch your legs out. And a comfortable seat is any seated posture where your spine is long. So maybe you want to sit up on a blanket like I am. Maybe you want to sit up on a chair or a bolster. So wherever you feel most comfortable. Draw your shoulders down the back. Feel your sitting bones even right and left. Again, sense the floor beneath holding you. We'll take alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana. So again, this is a really nice way to integrate right and left sides of the brain. Right? Coming into a sense of wholeness, balance, midline. If your nose is stuffed, you can just very gently place your finger on either side of the nostril. So what we'll do here is I'm not going to mirror you. I'm just going to show with my right hand, so you'll have to mirror me. You want to bring your index and middle finger into your palm, and we're going to block our right nostril with the thumb and our left nostril with the ring finger, with the 4th finger. And I will invite us into a rhythm, but really follow your own breath. It's very important when we do breath work not to strain at all. So Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, is known to be a cleansing breath and a balancing breath. I'll walk us through the first 3 or 4 rounds, and then we can go on our own timing for about a minute or 2. So let's just first come into an easy sense of breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils. Maybe close the eyes down, especially if you're familiar with this breath and don't need to look. Just invite the breath to slow down, no strain. Jaw soft, eyes soft. Let's all take an inhale together. Exhale. We'll block the right nostril with the right thumb. Inhale through the left nostril. Block the left nostril with your ring finger. Exhale right. Inhale right. Block the right nostril. Exhale left. Inhale left. Block the left nostril. Exhale right. Inhale right. block the right. Exhale left. A couple more times on your own. See if you can keep your head lengthened on the spine, not leaning to the right. Very gently pressing your finger in the little divot of the nose. Inviting a sense of cleansing and balancing. And then the next time you exhale through the left side of the nose, you can relax both hands down to your legs. Keeping the eyes closed, just notice the effects of the breath. So we don't need a lot. We'll finish today's practice with a mudra, which is a hand gesture, a hand posture. So again, I'm not going to mirror you. You can have your hands face each other, palms face each other, and then cross your right wrist in front of your left. So your right arm's going to be closer to your body, and we'll bring the backs of our palms together. Here's where it gets a little tricky, but I think we can do it. We're going to cross our pinky fingers. Keep your ring fingers wide. Cross your middle finger and cross your index finger. So your ring finger and thumbs are going to be free, and you're going to join them together. So we're going to place this mudra right in front of our hearts. This mudra is the Abhaya Hridaya mudra, which is the mudra for the fearless heart. Can also help draw your energy into the center, encouraging a calm mind. So if you'd like, you can close the eyes down, shoulders down the back, jaw is soft. Taking about 1 more minute here. Letting the mind be with the breath. You're welcome to stay here as long as feels good. You can just bring your palms to touch in front of your heart. Just noticing if you have an intention you'd like to bring out into the rest of your day. If you have time, you might even want to take this moment to journal, noting down if any of these practices seem to help you, or maybe some of them seem to amplify a scattered mind. So really just note for your own self what works, what doesn't work, and then you can take it into your own life. You might also just want to journal while you have this moment. What are 3 things 1 to 3 things you might want to bring into your day just to stay with that nice, clear mind, whether it's coming back to one of these practices, going to bed earlier, cleaning your house, taking 1 minute in your lunch break to close your eyes and just be with the breath. Notice how your body feels. Any of these things could be really helpful so that our practice just isn't here on the mat, that we can take it off the mat and into our lives. I hope this was helpful. If you'd like to do the extended practice, you can always check out my website in the link below, and I'll have a longer practice starting off similarly, but we'll bring in some more standing yoga poses as well. Thank you so much for joining me.